everybody. Welcome to the East Coast Red and Gold podcast. I'm Niners Jess, along with Ty Alston, Maddie B, and your girl Bex. What's up, Faithful?
What's up? Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Hello.
That's right. It's Wednesday, January 29th, and we are brought to you by Faithful Gear. Get your customized Faithful Gear at faithfulgear209.com, made for the faithful, by the faithful. So I say Wednesday, January 29th, which marks 30 years ago, the Niners destroyed the Chargers and won their fifth Lombardi. 30 years.
Yep. Steve Young got the monkey off his back.
Indeed, he
6
did.
touchdowns.
Yep.
30 years
Ago. Womp, womp, womp.
30. 13.
3-0. Not 1-3. 3-0.
3-0. Anybody under the age of, say, 40 right now does not odds are do not remember the 49ers winning a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's where we're at. Just a little fun fact for everybody out there. Fun fact.
Although I am the youngest of the group, I do remember that Super Bowl.
Good.
Wait, I'm
That's
29. I thought I was the youngest. How'd that happen? Girl math.
New math.
Yeah. Carry the one minus square root.
Minus Cole's cash.
Take the Colts cash off.
Yeah, she always take the Cole's
Whatever
cash.
works.
Yeah, whatever works.
Jackson says I'm 18 and I remember.
Right. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've exposed what's really going on here, and that's people in denial. And we're not talking about traveling in Egypt. It's
Are you
okay.
trying to say I'm lying?
We love all of you.
about my
We're just saying time travel hasn't been invented yet. That's
Hmm.
what I'm saying. So mainly for the captain, not so much for you, Beck.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Safe. I'm safe.
I know you're
Travis-
only running on chips and salsa right now. I'm not pushing my luck.
Yeah,
That's
don't
right.
She's running on chips, salsa, and a nice drink.
It's
Right, yeah.
Prosecco. So yes, we're about to get
Oh,
our
there you
our
go.
Prosecco on.
There
There
you
we
go.
go.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right.
Clearly,
So,
dry January
ice-
wasn't for me.
Ice water from a Dolphins cup because the stadium was the Super Bowl was won on their
That's
field,
right.
by the way.
There it is.
you know what? I couldn't see. I only saw the color, but then I was like, wait a minute. That looks like a Dolphins cup.
That was
Definitely
the
don't
souvenir
do it.
cup I got from the game that I went to in December. And I only wanted to go on the field after the game because that was the last place the 49ers, won a Super
Gotcha.
Bowl.
There it is.
Makes sense.
All right. So, Bex,
It's a
Jason
holy
wants
ground.
to know, are you drinking or drinking? Need to know what kind of show this is going to be.
You know, it's been a really rough week, Jason. We'll see. If I refill the cup, then we'll be drinking. But right now, I'm only on chips and salsa, so I could get there anyway. You never know. Flip a coin.
Yep.
We're all afraid to go.
Bang,
We're
bang,
all
bang,
afraid to go
Coast
out.
Niner gang.
We're all afraid to go outside because we're afraid we're going to get blown into the woods. Okay, just like it looks like Siberia outside and has for weeks. The
Yeah, the wind
absolute
is absolutely
two,
crazy today.
the absolute two worst teams on the planet are going to play in the Super Bowl again for the second time in 3 years. Like, make it stop, right?
Yep.
Please make it stop.
Stop talking.
And it's 30 years since we've won a Super Bowl. Whew. Also, I had to pay my season ticket invoice today. Let me tell you, that was fun. That was a nice little,
Yeah.
nice.
We can
Thank
tell
you.
you enjoyed that.
I was really excited to help pay
Mhm.
for some of those bonuses. It was a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And let it be known that it is still January. It is day 375 of the month of January.
Yeah,
The only good
know,
thing about January is it's Patrick Willis month. Like, he was born in this month. Otherwise, I would say scrap it from the calendar.
yeah, January. Even though this is the last week of January, it's never ending.
It's been dragging.
Yes.
Sheesh. We still here?
Time usually marches on, not this month. It feels like
January 33rd, man. Like, I
Yeah.
don't even understand. Like, we don't even get to Friday until Saturday, guys. We don't even get to
Mhm.
February until Saturday.
Right.
Like, how does that even
Yeah.
happen? Like, what? I'm doing something today. I'm like, oh, this is the end of the month. No,
no
days
days left, Matt. There are
No.
days.
Yep.
days, multiple.
Oh, yeah, over it.
Happy birthday, Captain.
Happy
Happy
belated.
birthday.
Jason, I hope people rememred it and didn't screw you
Okay.
out of it just because Christmas happened recently.
You
I always thought
and
January
Patrick
birthday
Willis.
people usually got pretty shafted on those things. So
We'll include
No, you know what?
and
My nephew's birthday is in January, and I think he got more than he did at Christmas.
Oh wow.
Oh, good.
I'm not surprised in that scenario, but for
Post-holiday
most of the general
spoils.
population, that's Reed, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, there you go. Like that's all. Yeah, Reed
Mainly
is-
because I'm the cool aunt. So
right.
Yeah.
Understood. That's just how that works, and it's okay.
You're the fun
Mhm.
aunt.
Right.
that's
Right.
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 There's a whole
Momo Morton in the house. Niner fam, what's good?
What's up?
We were just discussing that 30 years ago today, the Niners destroyed the Chargers to win their 5th Lombardi trophy. Steve Young had 6 touchdowns.
Stevie,
So-
Jerry Rice broke his shoulder or
Yep.
dislocated his shoulder and still played.
Still
through
caught
it.
a touchdown after that. Yep.
So where were you guys 30 years ago? Put that in the chat. I was telling Maddie before you guys came on that we should have had 8 Super Bowls by now.
Yeah.
I have a feeling this is just going to be one of those shows where, we got drinks flowing.
Sing
We're
Dirges in the
reminiscing
dark
a little
later.
bit. Yeah, right. We're reminiscing a little bit,
Nobody knows.
going way back.
The trouble I've seen.
Okay, we lost.
There was a
the
vending
eight.
machine in here. I might put my foot through it, Eddie D style. Just to give it the old Eddie D in the foot in Phoenix. Or in Tempe.
Are you okay, Ty?
Yeah, Ty's. Ooh, he's
Ty
really
is doing math, and I'm
draining
genuinely
his
concerned.
brain.
It's high level math. You see, I'm using my fingers too, so this is
It's
deep.
like,
This is some
man,
deep stuff.
We made it to 3.
I hope to God you've got slides on and left the socks off because you might need the extra.
I'm
If you
thinking
need
more
us to
like,
put our toes up so you can count, you just
we
let
see.
us know.
How many Super Bowls did you say we should have?
I mean, honestly, it should be more
I'm
than
thinking.
that.
I'm thinking 12. Just
Well,
offhand.
I'm thinking Harbaugh and then the 2 with Shanahan. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay,
Right.
Ty. All right, Ty. I want before you say yours. I want to try to guess. 1983,
Mm-hmm.
1987,
Mm-hmm.
1990. Oh, excuse me, 1980. Oh, yeah, 1990.
90. Yep.
Yeah. Probably 92 because
Yeah,
absolutely.
we should have won there. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I didn't consider
would-
that one, but yes.
Yeah.
You can count that one as
Um,
well.
Basically, as soon as you lose an NFC title game, no, you lost the Super Bowl, right? Because that's what it used to be back then. At least that's what it
Mhm.
was until Denver beat Green Bay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would also go with 96 because I think they would have won the year that they lost to Green Bay was Steve Young's broken rib.
Broken ribs. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they fixed it 2 days after the season.
I know.
He was great. He was ready to go after that. So let's hire that doctor. So there's that. The Garrison Hurst year, I think they would have.
Oh,
Yep. And then of course we've got the Giants and then the Ravens,
were
as we
rolling.
mentioned.
Yeah.
Any of those
Yeah,
years,
two-
any of the years, any of the 2 against the Seahawks, and yeah.
I didn't even count those. I was counting
Rams
the
won.
2011 team with He Who Must Not Be Named.
Yeah, and the Rams won. 2021.
And I was thinking
They absolutely they already
21,
beat Cincy
Brock
that
got
year
hurt,
in
yeah.
Cincy. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
2022.
That's 2022. Yep.
Jason, it
I
sounds
mean,
like you're
we're
drinking
going to like
tonight.
15 at this point. Like,
It's up there.
yeah.
No, but there were a lot of years where the team was rolling, just on point, and got to the cusp, and tragedy happened. Garrison Hurst injury, the Brock Purdy injury, things of
Bad
that nature
calls.
were just
Yeah.
chopped us
Insanity.
down.
Yeah, let's throw it to Crabtree for any reason. That should never
Yeah,
happen.
yeah.
Yeah,
Why we're doing that in any sort of
Frank Gore,
situation, I
baby.
don't understand. I don't know. Frank
Kyle
Gore or
Williams in the NFC title
I don't know.
game.
Literally anybody else. I'm thinking
Yeah.
no. No. Vernon Davis maybe. I would prefer Vernon
Yeah.
Davis in those scenarios.
Well, sure.
Jaquaski Tart missing the interception.
Yep. That was
Dang.
That was a rough
That's
one.
another one.
Mhm.
I still
That
say
was
Jimmy
the one
Ward's
I was
play
talking about
after
with
that
the
was
Rams.
even
Yep.
worse, but
Yep.
still bad. That was another
Mhm.
point. Yeah, should have won that game. But yeah,
So Momo Morton wants to know the best 49ers team out of the 5 Super Bowls. For him, it's the
84.
89 squad.
I think 84.
Year I was born.
That's scary.
Me too.
I was 6.
I don't know.
I think there.
got love for 89.
We had different eras of play. I mean, for me, like if you go back and watch how hard they were allowed to hit one another in the early 80s,
Well, yeah.
you cannot deny the early 80 teams because they played to kill. I mean,
Yeah, 84 and 85 was like human heat seeking. Go back sometime for fun, anybody. Go back and watch the 1985 Raiders versus Bears game. It is absolute debauch. Like, it is just...
everybody's out to kill, wring one another's necks. That's how they played. Go watch Ronnie Lott's best real hits tape, and you will see what kind of hits we were allowed to put on people. And Joe Montana endured. It's a wonder the man can speak English, honestly, at this point in his life, that he can put a complete sentence together. He got his bell rung. Like that's
He's still pitching
literally.
Guinness and pneumonia vaccines. Like, good for him.
Mhm.
Like, a lot of guys aren't able to do that. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, remember
Shout out
when
to
we had Dwight Hicks on the show, and I asked him flat out, Dwight, why did you and Ronnie and everybody, why'd y'all hit those guys out like that? And he looked dead in the camera and said, because we could.
We could. Hello.
Okay.
We had to. You think they were going to give us any slack? Exactly.
if you didn't, you
That's
weren't going to be
simple.
on the team. Have a good time.
Yeah.
Thanks for playing.
Yeah.
Good luck on the job market. Right.
Bill Walsh would have been like, you out.
Right.
It's crazy how times have changed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason I think the 84 team is better than the 89 team is because the 89 team did have a better Super Bowl. But they were also facing a weaker opponent. That Broncos team was hot garbage on a platter and was lucky to be there.
They were the Orange Crush.
Yeah, okay.
And they had
Not
the
that.
number
Not
one
that.
defense.
They were Diet Orange Crush that year. Yeah, the AFC was super weak that year too.
Yeah.
Like, that was the AFC down era too, and that was before zero sugar stuff. So it really tasted like aspartame back then. But
The 84
the 49ers
team, that
in
was the
84,
old,
they had to beat that.
49ers, right?
They had
Like,
to beat the Miami Dolphins that
The
year. The Miami
Dolphins.
Dolphins were the team, and Dan Marino was the
Marino was
quarterback. And
Yeah,
like,
he was the ish.
I won
He
so
was-
much money betting on that game.
that was, and then they were so good.
And I was a teenager.
that out of them being so good spawned the 1985 Bears, which a lot of people think is the greatest team ever. But
Yeah.
they were spawned off of the fact that they were mad about what happened in the NFC title game the year before. The whole thing was like a revenge tour because of that game.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
that's how good they were. So, yeah, the 89 49ers won that second one, and they won 2 in a row, but that 84 team, I think, was the best out of that group.
Yeah, I wasn't mad about the 84 team because we were supposed to get crushed and killed, and everybody was betting against the Niners, against Dan Marino. And was that not the year when Keena Turner was like, call us the finesse ass 49ers one more time, like in the camera when they won?
No,
And
that was
No, that
88
was-
after they beat the
Yeah.
Bears in the
Yeah.
28-3 snow game.
Yeah.
Because remember he had the cold stuff on, and he was like, it was
oh,
the
yeah, okay.
and it was the tiniest locker of all time. That's the only reason I remember that, because it was Soldier Field. It was like, did you guys use a high school team's locker? Like, did Northwestern let you use their locker? That's adorable, right? Like, that's so nice of them.
Oh,
You know
how
what I mean?
cute.
That 85 Bears defense was unstoppable unless you were Dan Marino that year. He tore them apart.
Yeah, literally. On Monday Night Football, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was on Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
Jim McMahon didn't start that game, but that didn't really matter for the Bears.
I didn't care about the defense. That had nothing to do with the defense.
The defense got absolutely wrecked. And
ready. Yeah.
another fun fact about Super Bowl 20, everybody's like, oh, the Bears would have killed them. They would have killed them. Yeah, the Bears probably would have killed them, but here's what happened in that game. Walter Payton fumbles on the opening drive. Patriots pick it up. They lead the league in the playoffs that year. They led the league in like turnover percentage. Like, they were getting like 6 turnovers a game. It was insane. They just got hot with the turnovers. They were like a drunk guy at the craps table, and like he just was, yeah, steak ass. Like, it was great. So he goes in, and then on the first play out, they call a play action pass. Lynn Dawson is wide open on the sideline. They throw him a pass, and his knee just collapses. They stop the game.
That's right.
It was stopped for about 15 minutes while they carted him off the field. People are crying because this guy's made it to the Super Bowl for the first time, and he loses it on the first play. And then on the next play, they throw it to Stanley Morgan, who could be a Hall of Fame wide receiver, and like the Mike Singletary just gets a hand on it, and Morgan can't catch it. They got to kick a field goal, and then that was it. Like, the Bears after that were off to the races. Game completely changes just because of that little weirdness, right? That team loses that motivation, and then the game was completely off after that. And then after that, that was when you were like, wow, I can go back and start seeing the moments where games completely get out of reach, right?
You mean like when Drake Greenlaw went down?
Like when Drake Greenlaw went down, or when Joe Montana got hit in the face by Jim Burt, right? Or when Leonard Marshall took out Joe Montana.
Championship game,
broke his hand.
against the Giants. And I still hold the grudge.
When Leonard Marshall took out Joe Montana, right?
Giants
Like
again.
The effing Giants again, or the ball pops right into Lawrence Taylor's hands out of Roger Craig. Like, it was just an easy handoff. It popped right into it. Like,
Right
it doesn't
into
even get a chance to go on the ground. It's like, oh, hey, it's Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah.
Like, the only 2 things he's catching that point are a crack rock and a football, and he got them both, right? Like, that's just what he would do. Like,
So,
it just
my best friend's a season ticket holder for the Giants, and they cannot understand my complete disdain for the Giants. And I'm just like, Jim
hatred.
Burt. I almost wrote Eddie DeBartolo a letter as a teenager because he brought Jim Burt to play for the Niners after that. I was like, how dare you?
I cannot wait to go to the Meadowlands this year and just watch them get absolutely routed.
Yep.
I want a 7 touchdown ass whipping. Like, I want people crying. I want them leaving in the third quarter. And then when I walk back to the hotel afterwards, because there's no way I'm fighting that traffic for at least 2 days afterwards, I just want to wave to them as they go by, just like Miss
Welcome
America.
to New Jersey.
Bye. Bye. Thanks for trying.
Hey, friend.
Thank you. Bang, 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 bang.
I
That's all
am.
do the whole time.
I am. Look at that.
Yeah.
He got it from her.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
You know?
Absolutely.
I just realized that.
Shanahan's doing the Jess pose.
Yeah,
Get it right.
The shadow.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Jess, you're casting a shadow that looks like Kyle. Maybe it's that I shotgun this glass of wine, but I mean,
Yeah, look at that. Yeah. I believe we'll all be there.
Yeah. It's right in the backyard.
sure.
Like,
Guys, the plan
that's
for
a definite.
The plan for me next year is Houston, New Orleans, Indianapolis, the Giants, and then at least one home game. That's the plan next year. Maybe Seattle, because I've got family that lives out there, and I don't think he's going to be living out there much longer, so I need to take advantage of it. But if they put it on a Thursday night game, it won't happen because Thursday night games don't work for me.
Right now, I am home opener, Giants. I'd like to do Houston.
Houston would be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to go down and hook up with my boy Ruben. We actually should probably get him on the show. I met him at I can't remember which one I met him at, but him and his wife are really good people, and they run a massive Houston fan chapter down there. And they are,
Mhm.
I know
they
a few
do all sorts.
people.
Houston Niner Empire, yeah, they are really.
I know a
Okay.
few people
Yeah.
in the Houston group. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Good peeps.
And Naomi's part of the Houston group down there too. She's awesome.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Oh, I did not know that, Jason. I would do that. My cousin lives out in Puyallup, so he usually just comes and gets me from the airport. It's awesome. So, but of course, I haven't
And
been able to
Alex
go there
in
since.
Seattle. I know Alex out in Seattle. He's the dude that runs the whole big,
Mhm.
shindig out there. So we got some connections.
Momo, you got to get out the Levi's.
Oh yeah. Let me know.
It's-
I
it's an experience.
I just paid my invoice. I gotta.
Yep.
I can't get to every
Yeah,
game.
Got
Momo.
tickets.
Hey, the
You just
tab.
fly
Hey, the
out.
tab.
You buy the tickets through me. Your food's included. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Right? That's a lot.
Free
and,
French fries.
Yep.
Momo's
Columbia,
in
South
South
Carolina.
Carolina.
Columbia, South
Hey.
Carolina. That's where I went to basic training.
My sister lives in South Carolina.
Fort
I know some
Jackson.
people that have chapters in South Carolina too.
Kali, I went to Cleveland already. I'm done with it. I want to see them in London. Thank you.
That's what I'm waiting to see.
Sorry,
Are
man.
they going
Like,
overseas?
You know, I
Like I'm kind of
I
basing
wouldn't be
everything around that.
surprised. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't play overseas this year.
I think the hot rumor, and last year it was that they were going to Brazil, but the
Yeah.
hot rumor this year is the Cleveland one, specifically because the extra game this year is 49ers versus Cleveland, and they just played there 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So they can get away with, oh, hey, we were just there 2 years ago. Let's do this, right? Typically, they're only going to try to move either a division game because they can make it up the next year, or a game that is going to be made up on a regular schedule later, right? Because you don't want a team not being able to see a team for 10 years, right? You don't really want to do
Yeah.
that. So in this case, I think that's what's going to end up happening. So make sure you know all the things about how to travel over there. You have to request a visa in advance for the time frame. There's a fee involved and everything else. So make
Wait,
sure
for
you do
London?
that.
You don't need
Not
a
for
visa
London.
for London.
No, I just read a thing there. You have to do some
No.
sort of thing. You have to request.
No.
Well, I'm
You
going to
don't?
my
Okay.
cousin's wedding there in July, and
You're good to go. All right, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just
Everyone
in
else
Paris.
plays Jacksonville. Jacksonville
Yeah.
notoriously plays overseas. Yeah.
Well, yeah, Jacksonville is like the home team over there.
Cleveland is the home team for theirs too, so that's why I don't think they're going to play each other. Although I could see them
Yeah.
playing each other maybe for a week, right? Maybe they keep Jacksonville over there and Cleveland stays over there for 2 weeks too. I can see that.
So Momo says thoughts on Salah being back.
So
I'm
lucky.
excited.
So
Like we
lucky.
said before, the evil that you know versus the evil you don't know. You already had success with this guy. You know and love this guy. He jives and vibes with the team. So yes, and yes all the way.
I
He's
think
excited
he
to do it.
instantly makes an impact.
100%.
He brought a great special teams coordinator with him.
He sure did.
And by great, I mean not Brian Schneider.
Well, but also top 5, like in his entire long tenure with the Jets, they were top in everything. So,
Yep.
I mean, that's an
I bet-
upgrade. I don't
I bet-
care.
Next
What
year,
he
there's a
does.
return for a touchdown. I don't know if it's a kickoff or a punt. One of them's going back next year. It's going to happen.
A block,
It's going to
something.
go wild when that
Lower
happens.
the point, yards.
Full explosion. I might spontaneously combust into ash.
Oh my God. We're all gonna be like, Look at that. Our
You know
special-
what? I didn't really use the air horn this year, because there
Ooh.
wasn't really like many exciting moments.
No, there were
But
not.
if that happens, I'm definitely, yeah.
Let her rip, baby. Let her rip.
I'm just looking
Pterodome.
to see what's up, Pterodome? A return to good kick coverage.
Yeah.
Like no more long returns. Let's start tackling and getting these guys on the ground and making them drive the length of the field. The returns were killing me.
How about no holding on returns so that the return yardage actually counts? What about that?
Just is that right? Like, yeah.
That too. When we get a big
How about-
return, let's keep the
How
big
about our
return.
kicker not making any tackles?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
how about our kicker in general? Like, he's a camp body, and who do you? Yeah.
If they draft a kicker, I am walking to DeBartolo Drive. I'm walking from here.
We're all writing
I'm
a
not kidding
strongly
you.
worded letter, right?
I am getting
what? I
heated
actually- I'm
jackets, snow
starting to think
pants, and
that's
I'm
a real
walking across the
possibility.
country. I'm walking across the country, and I'm going to be like, "What are you doing?"
I
Protest.
got 10 picks.
What is going
you never
on?
know.
And they're
You
going
got
to be like,
10.
"What?
Okay.
Why are you walking across the country?" Because the 49ers are drafting a kicker again.
But if they take the last pick in the draft and they draft a kicker, fine. We don't need him to be drafted in high early rounds. That is the thing. I mean, there are teams out there who literally went and plucked a guy out of the garage as an auto mechanic who's kicking better field goals than we're getting production.
There's got to be somebody at Eastern Washington they can get as an undrafted free agent that will absolutely crush it, right? Like
Right.
there are so many guys around the league right now, no matter where they're finding them.
100%.
Stop wasting
Wasting
capital
the
on these
draft pick.
guys. These guys are already like all kind of like, if they don't have Robbie Gould's psyche, right, where they're not bothered, see previous episodes for that story, like, forget it. And if you put any sort of pressure on him at all, it makes it even worse, man. The only person who I ever saw that the pressure never bothered him as an early kicker and he panned out was Sebastian Janikowski. That was it. Every other one has been an abject failure. Because he
That guy had some leg.
he had a leg, and as Ty just said, he did not give a single F. You want me to bomb this from 75? I'll let it roll. Hold on,
Yeah,
let me
exactly.
put the cigarette out real quick.
Yep.
Let me do that. But I'll put it out in my palm, right?
Yeah,
He was
Like,
that
hold
kicker
on.
from the Replacements, right? He was that dude.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
the same guy. Same vibes.
Matt, you talked
Brent-
about the Robbie Gould thing and how, he would warm up anywhere multiple times at games. You could go to any away game. It didn't matter. Robbie would be out there booting right past cheerleader heads. They would come out and start like passing balls around him. He just didn't care. It was the coolest thing ever if you were early enough to watch him warm up, because Robbie he could care less about what was happening around him. And that's the kind of mentality and energy you got to harness in that job. And I loved him. And I would call Robbie back before I would, take just
David
anybody
Akers.
off the
Overall up.
street.
David
Akers, yep.
Yeah, Akers. Yeah.
Robbie. David
Robbie.
Akers.
David Akers, yeah.
Wait, real quick, Momo, just to let you know, we like to actually answer questions here on the show and not skip over them to other subjects. Robert Saleh, it's a great move. We're very happy that the team stayed patient, waited for their guy. They got the right guy in there. We know he's the right guy because he's already done it before. He's the guy that installed the defense.
Yeah.
The defensive captains know him well. They know how to communicate with him. He knows how to communicate with them. If you want the defense fixed, you go to the source.
The fixer.
He's the guy that will get it fixed and get it right and get these guys humming again. So
And get Dre Greenlaw to come back.
That part.
That doesn't hurt either, right?
that
That's
doesn't hurt
another
either.
little-
That's
doesn't
a
hurt.
bonus.
That's a little. Oh yeah. By the way, I know that you're like looking to do a thing with someone else, but hey, guess who's coming back? Your boy.
So
Philly was a good kicker too. Philly Dawson was good.
Ray Wershing,
Yeah.
let's go. He didn't.
Oh.
He never
Ray
looked up.
Wershing. I mean, Ray Wershing.
Number 14? 14?
4.
Yep.
No, 6.
No, 14. Oh, he's 14.
Wait.
But
Phil Dawson-
Ray
no,
Washing.
Phil Dawson wore 6. Ray Washing wore
14.
Oh, okay,
14.
okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was reading the comments.
Hmm.
It depends on what you do with the scheme, and the problem the last 2 years has been that there's been no discipline within the scheme whatsoever. You've got guys. What was that thing that they taught us on that song on Sesame Street? One of these kids is doing their own thing. There was a lot of too many kids doing their own thing
Those
this
kids
year,
doing
as opposed
doing
to
the same.
doing the scheme, which meant there were a lot of edges that were not
Yep.
held this year. They were basically thrown. Like they were
Yeah.
thrown overboard. Like, nope, we don't need this edge. Goodbye. And you saw that a lot. I mean, you started seeing it in the Green Bay playoff game last year, for God's sakes. So it never really improved. The only reason it wasn't really like exploited that much in the Kansas City game is because Kansas City doesn't like to really run outside that much. So yeah, kind of lucky in that aspect of it. And things should have broken that way, but of course nothing did, as we know.
Yeah, the scheme
And
isn't
injuries.
trash. It works, but you got to know someone who knows how to run it and knows how to call it. It's as simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
And injuries, staffing, the backfilling of the positions was abysmal. Everybody was hurt and the replacements were hurt. And when you don't have guys to plug and play, it's going to expose the weakness.
For those of you
And then-
just joining us, we are talking some Robert Saleh. I actually believe that we were very top heavy this year. And that goes to your point, Becca. You know, we just didn't have enough depth, really.
It was, what depth we had got hurt
Well,
Right.
filling in for the starters, and it was a steep decline after you get past 1 and 2. We're on the rookie team, and I'll say nothing but great things about the rookies who did play and played well. Our rookie class, I think, had an amazing year, but in most cases, but we just didn't have a lot of depth. And once you get, see, now I'm getting tipsy on the wine. Shotgun my glass of wine.
that's a show.
What the hell's his name on the defense that went out like week 1, 2, broke? We got him from the
J.
Eagles.
Barn Hargrave.
I was
Hargrave.
gonna say that's going to narrow it down, but yeah, no, that's
Well, from the Eagles.
The guy that went out.
Hargrave.
Yeah.
But like
Javon
he went
Hargrave.
down, and we never had a qualified person in there to fill his spot. And like the run game suffered. Like our defense against the run game was just abysmal this year. Like so many things that were just watching the whole team try to run this scheme and not have personnel to play it. I think we got a lot of off-season work to do in that respect. Saleh's got his job cut out for him.
Momo, why do you not like the scheme? Let's see what he says.
Well, just remember, Robert Saleh running that same scheme here in New York had that defense number 1
Yeah,
in the entire league.
And when he left, a steep decline.
Exactly.
Huge decline.
Exactly. Numero
Big
uno.
decline.
They blamed him. I'm like, the offense blamed him, and he's like, my unit's number 1. What are
Right.
y'all doing? That's a different story. But
Mhm.
they were humming along, running that same scheme.
I think we go D tackle at number 11.
I think that's really what it boils down to.
I
The
think
D
we'll
tackles
get-
have not.
A few D tackles this draft. Seems to be a lot out there.
I think if they had to do
Yeah.
all over again, they wouldn't have signed Hargrave to that big money deal, and they would have sprinkled that money around and tried to hit on
Oh,
like
yeah.
another DJ Jones type or somebody like that, because you're probably better getting more guys in the rotation when it comes to that in terms of like run stopping, things of that nature, and then bringing in your pass rushers on that, as opposed to paying big for someone in the middle. If they're not going to be somebody like, if it's not Vita Vea or somebody like that that's going to be down low, like taking on 2 or 3 blockers,
Yeah.
then sorry, you're too much. Get out. We're gonna get you out for the next guy, right? So when Javon Kinlaw gets to the end of his deal, sorry, Javon, move on to the next guy. You're gonna go get the next guy that's gonna come in, or that's Kalia Davis or somebody else. And then when you've got free agency, you go out and you get a bunch of Jordan E. Willis-y types or whatever, and you go in there. But you can find that with bigger guys, and it seems like they thought Hargrave was going to plug up more than what he did, and then he ended up becoming like really a higher functioning rotational piece. It just didn't really pan out. It wasn't just that he was injured this year; like he didn't hit. He did not have the impact that we would have wanted.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Well, and we lost a key cog too when Eric Armstead left and other people that was also propping that up a little bit, I think, because the first year I thought he played really well and it seemed like he was a good, like seamless addition to that unit, but then you lose Eric Armstead on top of that, and then it really starts to reveal like who's really, really holding up the line, and it wasn't him.
Well,
Schottenheimer and Sorensen in Dallas. Good luck to them. They're going to need it.
I mean, Jerry is there for season tickets and tour tickets, right?
Mm.
Like he is there for that. He is coming to town with the circus, and he'd like you to come see it. And some weeks they're going to win, and some weeks they're going to lose, but they're probably not going to win that. But they've still won a Super Bowl more recently than us, so who am I to talk about them? I guess, right?
Momo says he dislikes the scheme because of exposure. It's from the 4-3. Mix it up with blitz packages, disguise a lot to make it effective. Well, Robert Saleh is the perfect person, as we
He's
said.
the right guy to do that.
Yeah. What do you guys think about Steve Wilkes going to the Jets as their new defensive coordinator?
I
That
saw
defense
that.
is going to be humming.
Yeah,
Holy
hopefully he gets to stay up in the booth. Like I wish him the best on that. I hope he really gets to stay up in the booth.
Maddie, that's going to be your homework to see what he
Booth
does.
watch.
Yeah, booth watch. Is Steve Wilkes in the booth?
Steve Wilkes watch.
And I expect you to report.
I know I've got a friend or two from back in the day who probably does work on the Jets beat now. So yeah, I could probably get that information. So we'll see what we can do.
Let's see.
Yeah, I think that's a really good hire for Aaron Glenn too, because that gives him somebody who's head coached before and coordinated before, and that's big stuff for him.
Building up an experienced staff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the Jets did well to backfill the open positions.
Yes, Bebop, he's gone. Although some people say that he could be signed back on a lesser deal, odds are he probably won't.
He probably
they're
won't.
going to be.
I think he's gone.
They're designating him as a post June 1st cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John
They
Lynch
already
said
said
it.
there. Yeah, he already said it. This isn't like some magic thing. We're just not just like, hey, we're whipping this out there. Like this is
No.
a radio DJ in Phoenix didn't tell me this. Okay?
No, exactly.
No,
Exactly.
I mean, they're gonna say like, "Oh, we would love to have him back," because like, what else are you gonna say? But he was pretty much honest as to their plan.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Crazy Juice. We better move on from Brendel.
They're talking about getting Dolman's kid, right? Yeah.
Drew Dolman.
Yeah. Drew Dolman.
I don't think we draft a center. I don't think Kyle is going to put a rookie
Ultra center.
to take control of the offensive line. So yeah,
they've never replaced Alex Mack. So yeah, this is their chance to do that. They didn't replace Alex Mack, and they didn't replace DeForest Buckner, and they tried to chase their loss each time. And how did it go each time? Right?
It didn't go well. Exactly.
They had Buckner's replacement on the team, but didn't use him. Messing up with those young guys again.
Correct.
And for those wondering who I'm talking about, his name is DJ Jones.
That is correct. That was the guy.
He was on the roster, sitting there.
Yep.
He'd been on the roster for 2-3 years.
That's what I keep talking about when I
rookie doghouse and such.
Yep. He has to go somewhere else, and now he's basically the anchor of the line in Denver, and
he's a
not
free
really
agent.
that easy to run on Denver. Yeah, but now
I was just going to say he's out there available. He was another name that was thrown out there.
Yeah.
But if they do that, that kind of puts them right back in the same boat. They start chasing it again, right? They start chasing their losses because now he's going to be 3 years older, and he's going to cost you
Way more.
probably 8 to 10 times more than what you had him for. They had him on a 2-year, $12.5 million deal, 10 or $12.5 million deal when he was here. They could have easily done an extension and probably kept him in a fairly low number rest of the time. Instead, they let him go, and he goes to Denver and tears it up there. Even on
Well, he
some,
just turned 30. Yeah, apparently
Yeah.
that's way too old.
it's not that
I thought I'm
old,
still
but like, you know what
29.
I mean? Like, do you?
No, I mean that narrative that the 49ers are old because they got
Yeah.
all these 30-year-olds.
Yeah.
It's way too old. Yeah.
He's over the hill.
So Kali says that Mayoko also thinks our key free agent acquisition will be Dolman. Yeah, Matt Mayoko is the closest that we have to the 49ers as far as, news and stuff like that. So you never know. I also hear that Dre Greenlaw is most definitely going to be back.
Well, I
Okay.
think that bodes well. I think Robert Saleh coming back sends a strong message, and the team wants him back. I think that's got to feel good for him. He's comfortable here. He likes it here. His family's here. I sure hope so. Like he's in a good place, and I think he can also look forward and see that the team is positioned to really have a good bounce back year and do something. So, do you want to go test the unknown, or do you want to stay with what you know and the potential to ride the wave to the Super Bowl, because we're going back? Let's say it out loud.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, definitely.
You don't have the candlestick dirt, do you?
Yes, right here.
It's around her neck. Boom.
There it is. Shake the dirt.
Taking the dirt, baby. Speaking of
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they said, like, listen, you were injured. Let's get you back on a 1-year deal.
Yep.
See where you're at.
I think that's where it's going to be. My concern is a team like Houston, who knows he's going to be a real good fit in their system, and knows that they could probably use somebody next to Aziz Al-Shire to keep him, maybe calm the hell down a little bit. Maybe take him down just a little bit, right? A little bit of extra leadership.
That guy?
That's a good question. Now, do
Mr.
I think
Body
he is?
Slam?
No, but they might think he is, though. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
they might
yeah,
think that
true.
might help. So that's the team that I worry about. That like maybe they decide to throw him a 2-year deal as opposed to us doing a 1. But if he to me, I think if he's really serious about the health and getting right, and he decides to do a 1-year prove it deal and they slap an option on there so that they can renegotiate it after, I think that would work. But then he gets to play on grass if he's here, as opposed to going to Houston and playing on that god awful turf.
Yep.
So yeah,
And he'll win a ring with the Niners before he does with Houston.
yeah. I mean, Houston's never even made it to a conference championship game. So
Just
come
a
on.
thought. Speaking of thoughts, Terradome has a random thought. Is Debo the Russell Westbrook of the San Francisco 49ers?
What does that mean? I don't know. Does everyone hate Russell Westbrook today, or do they like him? I don't know.
Well, I
Like,
think
it
that
changes
it's
every
one
year.
of the
He's
He's
points,
right?
washed. He's tired. His contract
Yeah.
expired. And then the next year, it's like, oh hey, look, he's the triple double king again. And like,
It's the
oh
love
hey, look,
hate,
he's
right?
back. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know how that works. I guess you know.
Dahlman would be a good fit. But
Haven't
see,
replaced Alex Mack.
Chris Forster likes everybody. He likes Brendel.
Yeah.
There's not one offensive lineman he doesn't like.
He's the guy who fixes the plumbing with one of those vice grips and is like, I'll come back and get that, and it still stays on there for a month.
Yep. It's
when
still
it's
locked
a
on
vice
there.
grip,
Yeah.
vice grip and a folded up paper towel. That's what's happening.
We're just gonna
Yeah.
let that whatever goop.
I'll be
settle
back
and
to
I'll-
seal that up. I
it'll
need a
be
little
fine.
contact cement and I'll be back.
Yeah. No, but Shanahan, we talked about this, I believe 2 weeks ago or so. Shanahan, when he first got here, he was big on having an experienced center. a guy who can make the line calls. It's integral to the offense. So you want someone. It's time to bring in that experienced guy once again, right? I keep wanting to say Chris Dahlman is his dad. I'm old school. Matt, you know what I'm talking about.
There's
Drew,
Chris Dolman, and then there's Chris Dahlman.
Right. Yeah.
So I think there is actually a Chris Dahlman, and
There
he
is a
was an
Chris
offensive
Dahlman.
lineman.
Yeah.
And then there was Chris Dolman, who was the defensive end for the
Yes.
Vikings, the Falcons, and the
Yes.
49ers.
Yeah.
So I think that's one that's like, just so everybody knows who we're talking about. Like,
Right.
pretty sure that's what it is. I want to say Dahlman played for, and I haven't looked. I want to say he played for Houston and Atlanta at least, but I'm not positive.
How do you not know, Maddie?
Chris
Because-
Dahlman, the offensive
Right.
lineman, played for
He
the
does
49ers.
everything.
He did. Okay.
Yeah.
There was another guy that
Yeah.
played similar there. So there you go. Same thing.
There you go. Oh, number 67. So that's why I keep saying his dad, because I'm old school like that. But yeah. So I see why everyone's big on Drew. Plus, he's young, up and coming. Like he's entering his prime, so
Yeah.
he could be there and solidify the position for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years still, and we can stop worrying about center. So this is the time to do it. If the 49ers want to make that one big free agency splash, make it on him. And we're good.
I'd literally rather see them go sprinkle it around just because I'm afraid that they've got some sort of anti-Midas touch with these free agents when they get a guy. It's like he just drops like a rung below what you're expecting, right? Like he's not terrible. He's not like, oh my God, get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's like, really? That's what happened here? Like,
Richburg.
name me your favorite Javon Hargrave played right off the top of your head. I feel like I remember a sack once, like a really good sack in the
He
first
did have a
game
really good
against the
sack
Giants,
once.
right?
I don't remember who it was against, but he did have a good sack.
He
Like that
sacked
was
the Giants quarterback.
Jones.
I don't even
Daniel
remember
Jones,
his name
right?
anymore.
Yeah, it probably was.
Yeah.
it was Daniel Jones, and that's the last thing I remember. And that was how long ago was that game?
You
That
had one
was-
against the
that was-
Steelers too.
That was home opener
Oh, I think
when we
was
went there.
the home opener against the Steelers in Pittsburgh.
Oh, that's right. He
wasn't
did.
it?
Yeah.
And
He did have one there.
I just remember the one against the Giants more because it was absolutely dumb, and you're like, oh, this is why they got this guy, right? This guy is making this impact.
Mhm.
And then you never saw that again after that play. You did not see that level of impact after that. Momo, Jess and I talked about this before we came on, and I'm very, very concerned because yes, this schedule is a cakewalk this year. Honestly, everybody from the French fry vendors to the shoe polishers should be fired if they don't go undefeated at home this year. If you look at that schedule, it's not just paper thin. It's oops, I spilled some water on it and it disintegrated thin. Okay, like it is opaque. Like that is how thin it is. All they got to do is go 500 on the road next year, and they got a 1 or a 2 seed in the NFC. And if they come back and actually play their division the way they're supposed to this year, and I don't know, hang on to a lead or two, they will probably get that number 1 seed because that is just how the NFC is right now.
Damn.
My concern is, are they going to make themselves good enough to be better than teams like Kansas City, who they would face in the Super Bowl? Or whatever other AFC team beats Kansas City, because if it is another team that beats Kansas City, you can be assured they've taken some sort of super soldier serum of some type. So are they going to be good enough to beat them? Are they going to avoid the same stupid mistakes and bad luck that have doomed them in the last 3 Super Bowls? The only way to guarantee that is to give yourself enough of a cushion to make sure that you're better than that. And I don't know if that schedule leads to it, so hopefully it does. Hopefully it's nice, rested. They get that number 1 seed. They come out, they tear it up, get their 2 games, get to the Super Bowl, and then we can all go to San Francisco for the parade.
There you
Or
go.
Santa
Maddie-
Clara for the parade. I don't know
So-
how that works.
To answer your question, the answer is yes. I said this to you off air that I believe that this losing season was a gut punch for them.
Oh yeah.
So the fact that, we see John Lynch at the was it the
Senior
Senior
Bowl.
Bowl? And,
Yeah, it's
right
Senior Bowl week.
front and center for the, the defense, the D linemen. I think they not that they don't mean business every year, but I just think that this year's different. I mean, this year is an important offseason for the Shanahan Lynch regime. But yeah, I mean, Momo, like, your last chance at the Super Bowl window. You know what? The Super Bowl window closed this year because we had the season we had, but it's fully open next year. I truly believe that as long as we have Brock Purdy as a quarterback, our Super Bowl window will always be open. What do you guys think?
I feel the same way about having John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan at the helm too.
It's the regime.
It's the regime. I think we have a chance every year with this management team in our, focusing on the team.
If you want Fred Warner and George Kittle and Dre Greenlaw to get Super Bowl wins, you're going to want to win it next year.
Yeah.
You're going to want it. Christian McCaffrey, probably.
Yeah, he's another one.
Yeah.
Deebo Samuel, Trent Williams for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you want to get those guys,
Check.
So that Super Bowl window. This is, I think this season is as close to 1994 as we're going to see for this franchise. And for those that weren't around for the preseason hype in 1994, it was go win the Super Bowl or everybody is getting shipped to another country and locked in a shipping container. Because they lost to the Cowboys twice in the NFC title game, and heads were going to roll.
Years. Yeah.
So it was, we got to do this, we got to do this, we got to do this, we got to get this guy, we got to get this guy, we got to get this guy, and they did everything they could to bring a winner in, and they did. But it still took a stroke of luck, and it still took Deion Sanders saying, "You know what? I'll take what I can get because I know I can win a Super Bowl." He turned down a lot of money with New Orleans and Atlanta to come to the 49ers. So it was it was a one of a kind season, but everybody knew the pressure. It was Super Bowl or bust, and I feel like this year it is absolutely Super Bowl or bust. If they have another season like they did this year, I'm very concerned about how the reaction is going to be taken by ownership and things of that nature. But I think if you can get out this year, you can have a bounce back. I think you'll be all right. And not only can they bounce back based on that schedule, they should eat next year. They really should. They should really genuinely eat. There shouldn't be a 3-3 start. There shouldn't be any Hammond and Hahn. They should eat next year based on the teams they're going to be playing. So, provided they don't all get bye weeks like they did this year before playing us.
So Kali says we must hit a home run this offseason. If we do that coupled with last year's draft, the window is open. Yeah, I mean, last year's draft was a good draft. We've said this time and time again that they drafted guys with the experience, the good number of college games under their belt. And I think they need to do that same thing this year. I don't think that they're going to go wild in free agency. That's true. But a lot of people think that, again, this year they're just going to go wild because we, allegedly have so many holes.
We never go wild in free agency.
I know.
Yeah.
And people say that every year.
One maybe splashy move, but that's it. We don't go wild.
Yeah. And when free agency starts, you always see people on social media, sign this guy, sign that guy, sign this guy, sign that. They want to sign everybody.
It's always the big name.
It never happens. Yeah.
Rob D says no bump box until we are dominant again.
I want to see a video of them smashing the boombox like they did the fax machine in Office Space. Just beat the crap out of it. It's
Well,
washed, it's played, it's
because now
over. Get
everybody's
rid of
doing
it.
it.
It's
There's so many
done.
copycats.
Beat
Yeah.
the bejesus out of it,
Yeah.
please. And then put it on video, put it on TikTok, make a dance out of it. I don't care. Just be done with it. If they have a draft like they did 85, 86, like this year, and it's the 24 and 25 draft are similar to 85, 86, this team's going to be fine. And the second kick of this may be what puts this regime over the top. And once this regime, I think, gets over the top, I think they'll finally get the respect they deserve. But if they don't, they're never going to.
Rob D says, great visual.
I do what I can. Do what I can.
Walk out, do the bump box dance, and then
Bang! Just get a
fire
baseball bat and beat the living
explosions
hell
from the
out of
little
that thing.
tower things.
Yeah. Don't do
Yeah.
fireworks. That's the last thing California needs right now. But yes, other than that, like just make it, just beat the crap out of it. Even license the song if you have to. Jed can afford it. Stop
Oh
it.
yeah, that's easy money.
Yeah.
Chump
So
change.
let's see some closing comments here. Walter Nolan would help us versus the run. It's not the scheme, it's the personnel. Jim Schwartz also runs the wide nine.
Gotta know how to run it.
Yeah,
Nolan at
Nolan at
11.
11. I don't want them to get I really don't want them to get an offensive lineman number one. I think it's easier
don't
to
think
get a
so.
defensive I think it's easier for them to get a defensive lineman number one.
Yeah.
Plus you get them for that extra fifth year. And I just think it works. I think it works a little better. I think you can get the offensive lineman you need later. Honestly, if you fix the center position, your offensive line is going to be so much better as it stands because nobody's going to have to carry the weak ass center anymore. Did I say that out loud? Yeah, I did. It's okay. It's true.
David McNiner says contracts and cap hits. It's time to get younger. Drew Dolman is 26. You know, we're
26
not
is good for
necessarily.
me.
I don't know how you guys feel, but I don't like the old narrative that we're
Team's
too
not
old.
old. The team's not old.
You have some older guys on the team in terms of football years, but Brock Purdy's not old, right? Like,
Team's not old.
And with age comes experience. Look at Trent
Isaac
Williams.
Arendo's not old, right? Like, yeah, Trent Williams is old. Okay, so
He's
yeah,
old for
yeah.
football, but he's also
He's still
sagely
banging.
wise, and you know,
Yeah.
you've got good eyes and good hands with people when they get some good experience.
When we talk about the old guys, oops, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was
That's
gonna
okay,
say
go
when you
ahead.
talk about the old guys, Trent Williams, he's old, yeah, but best left tackle in football, one of the best, you can say, right?
Still,
George Kittle in his early 30s, best tight end in football. Like, what are we talking here?
right? Exactly.
No Dalton
Yeah, they're over
Kincaid.
30, but they're
Oh,
the
wait.
best at what they do. So,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
Which my source says that there's no talks yet with a George Kittle extension,
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
but
Is it on the
I'm
docket?
remaining
That's what I want to know.
optimistic.
Look, if there's no talk yet, okay, that's one thing. But is it on the docket? Because I'm assuming that's got to be on the docket at some point.
I would assume so.
yeah.
Yeah. It should be. I mean, a lot of like the writers are saying it, and you know, hopefully it is. Everyone's got to
Also-
speak it into existence.
Also,
I'm actually
I
gonna
would like to-
I'm gonna write a letter to Kyle.
Yes.
I'm thinking
Strongly
about
worded letter.
I'm gonna start a GoFundMe to buy out Eric Saubert's contract just so I don't have to worry about
Yeah.
that next year either.
Mhm.
It's another thing
It's a
too.
good draft for tight ends, though.
Yeah, anything that gets Eric Saubert to not touch the ball, because every time the ball goes towards, it's the exact opposite of George Kittle. Anytime you get George Kittle the ball, good things happen. Anytime you try to get Eric Saubert the ball, something awful is going to happen. Something bad.
Crazy how it's night and day.
It is insane. It is the polar opposite. It is the north and the south pole of yes and no. It is so wild to me.
So Leon Sandcastle wants Debo gone. What do you guys think?
I
For
want
what?
him here. I want him here.
I mean, why? Why not?
Like they've already extended him. Like so, all he's going to be
He's
is a
under
cap hit if he
contract.
goes. And if you trade him somewhere, like if you trade him in the NFC, he's going to come back like an absolute virus and just zap you at the worst possible time because he's going to show up to that game motivated.
And that
So.
part too, Matt, but also if he's under the last year of his contract, isn't he going to want to play his heart out to prove his worth elsewhere?
Final year contract.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So why not want him back? Let him prove his worth to the league by showing up and showing out for us. Keep him.
We know when Debo is right, he's a weapon out there. We know what he does. Yes, he had an off year. Things were down. We can say that about a lot of people.
Yeah.
But for him to have a bounce back year next year, contract year, do his thing with 100% healthy group around him, it only benefits us.
Yeah.
So keep him. And Kyle has a whole playbook just for him.
Yes.
Like let's not take away Kyle's weapon. Like give Kyle all the toys so he can do his thing and we can keep this offense rolling.
This is the best group 1 to 4 at receiver we probably ever had. Right?
Yeah.
Like since the Jerry Rice, John Taylor era, like in terms of this, like
caliber of depth.
You're gonna have Ayuk coming back, you're gonna have Debo coming back, you're gonna have Pearsall, and you got Juwan Jennings.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Not necessarily in that order, but
But it doesn't.
Just
however,
them as a
however
group.
they want to
That's what I'm
utilize
saying.
them.
Yeah, just them as a
they
group.
want to utilize them, right?
Yeah, as a collective.
He might not get the touches that he would want to get, but they'll make sure that the touches he gets are effective and in spots where he can shine. Right?
Exactly.
You can use any of those guys in the slot. And when you can use any of those guys in the slot, it really opens things up. It really changes things, especially in the middle. And none of them are afraid of going over the middle.
Yeah.
So.
Right. And JJ just keeps getting better year over year too. So
yeah,
just amazing.
Kali wants to know if Juice is coming back. I think it depends on what they do in the draft.
Yeah.
Who is going to be in the draft that replaces him though? That's what I'm concerned about.
Are there fullbacks?
I agree, and I think it just
anymore?
depends on what they do.
There's
Belichick doesn't start till next year, Ty. So no, not yet. Next year, yes. After next year, I promise you, there will be some converted defensive lineman from Alabama that goes to North Carolina and becomes the world's greatest fullback. I promise you, it will happen, and he'll get drafted by Washington. I would bet my life on it.
No,
Rob
Juice will be
says,
back. He's the best fullback in football. Over another guy over 30, best at what he does.
Yeah, and now they have all that Christian Juszczyk money coming in from her.
She's the breadwinner now. He's just a pretty
he
face.
can afford to stay on the low level contract and play for the ring.
He's living that Tom Brady life now.
Yeah. He's Tom Brady light at this point. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That Tom Brady drip. Good for him.
He's
out for the yoga instructor, buddy.
Knowing Salah's back and the team potential for a ring is there. He's going to want the ring. I think he'll stay on another team-friendly deal.
You had paid up to get Robert Saleh into town, right? Like there was. I mean, Saleh probably could have gone ahead and gotten that Jacksonville job, but he knew better, right? He knew better.
There was
something
up there. Yeah,
there was a bunch of weird crap going on there, and he's like, you know what, I'm out of here. And it says something to me that you'd rather be a defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers as opposed to taking a shot at being a head coach again, because he knows if you get it right, if you get it wrong the second time, nobody cares. You're not getting a third shot. So, it's a good move for him because it'll be a good move for this team too.
I think
they're
the team, the platform,
got real lucky to get him. Got real lucky to get him because that came down to the last minute.
It was kind of shaky there for a little
bit.
Near
the end, I was like, oh my gosh, we just held out, and now we're not going to end up with anybody. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Rob D says BA has should better show up big this season.
Well, there's nothing else for him to do, right? Like he's got to go earn that contract, and if not, like he's just going to get cut, and that'll be a wrap. Thanks for playing. And good night. You know,
Well, he's also rehabbing,
right?
so he
So
won't
I
be
mean,
back to what,
he's going to be so
mid-season maybe?
focused.
Week
I think I wouldn't be.
6 or 7.
I don't. That was that a full? Was it the full gambit of ACL? Did he? How many
Yeah,
ligaments did he
ACL and
tear?
MCL. It was 2
Oh,
ligaments, I
Oh
believe.
yeah,
Yeah.
I would. Okay, so my
Yeah.
guess will be that he will start on the physically unable to perform
I'm
list,
thinking,
which
yeah.
means
Yeah.
that will put him out for what? I don't think that'll put him out through December. I think that'll put him out for the first 6 games.
There's 6 games, yeah.
So I'm thinking you'll probably see him around late October, maybe early November, and it's also going to depend on the bye week, right? When is the bye week next
Yeah,
year?
when that happens.
They're
But
probably
Rob,
not going to have
later.
him come back in London if that's when he's due to come back. That's probably
Yeah.
not the field to start him on.
Yeah, well, Rob, you
Sure.
could have put blank better show up big this season.
yeah, you
Because there
could
were a
fill
lot of
that in
guys who
with
were
everybody.
inconsistent. Play was kind of down. They were injured, etc. A lot of guys need to come back and have that true consistent bounce back season and get this thing back to 49er football.
Yeah, what he
I'm
said.
actually excited to see Christian McCaffrey come back.
Another
'cause, you
one,
know,
blank.
Yeah. In
Yeah,
that,
just
'cause in that
continue.
Bills
Take
game,
everybody but George Kittle and Fred Warner out of that, and you can just
Exactly.
replace everybody else with
There
it,
you go.
right?
And
Perfect.
Jawan Jennings.
Literally, almost
Perfect.
everybody. And
Mhm.
Jawan Jennings.
Those
Yeah.
three can keep their names
Yeah.
out of the mouth.
Those three can go eat ice cream in the cafeteria.
Right.
Everybody else has to come back for
The rest of y'all work in the sun.
sensitivity training, right? Like that's really what it boils down to. They get to eat ice cream. You all are going to do run
y'all
down
have
and
to-
backs, right? Like
Mhm.
that's what's going to happen. It's one of those
Yeah.
deals.
Mhm.
so Leon Sandcastle says that the offense looked a lot better when they fed Ricky and nearly eliminated Debo. BA, JJ, and Ricky are all better than Debo. He's easily the wide receiver 4.
Maybe that'll show itself up on the field next year, and if it is, that's a really good problem to have because then they can trade him at the deadline next year.
What Matt just said, because that's a good problem to have. Exactly what I was going to say.
I hope he's
Okay.
right, Leon. I hope you were spot on with that analysis.
Earn your keep. That's
Yeah.
what I was going to say. Everybody has a job to do. Earn your keep. And if Debo ends up in 4th place, well, that's where Debo was going to end up.
All right. Hurry up offense in the 2-minute warning. Let's go.
I wasn't ready.
Fine.
Oh, damn it. It went away. What happened? Wait, hold up. Something weird is happening. Oh my gosh.
Did we
This
kill
darn
it? There it
website.
is.
There we go.
Yeah, Maddie.
I want to thank all the 49ers that are not appearing in commercials during the playoffs. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Get ready for next year, please, and stop appearing in commercials. Enough. We get it. I hope you made some money from last year's run. Also, I want to thank the NFL for finally getting towards the end, because once this Super Bowl happens, last year's Super Bowl will finally stop being replayed every 4 hours in any place that I go this summer when there is a football game on. So again, I want to thank everybody involved on both of those fronts. Thank you. And bang, bang, Niner Gang. Thank you.
Yeah, Ty.
Shout out to Patrick Willis, who just celebrated a birthday. Way to go, young man. The big 4-0. Shout out to the 94 team, 30 years. Man, it's been a while. We got to get
Thanks
back
for
there.
the memories.
You know? Yeah. And shout out to the faithful. Stay faithful. Good things are happening. It's been a good offseason so far, and more good things are going to continue to happen. Just trust the process.
Niners, extend George Kittle. Let's get back on track. Like Ty says, everybody stay faithful. Trust the Shanna plan. And we'll be all good. Go Niners.
Happy birthday to my husband, Patrick Willis. Also, happy birthday, Bryant Young and Jair Brown. Welcome to the team, Brent Boyer, and welcome back, Rob Sala. We got this. Let's do it. Let's go Niners. And yes, thanks for the memories, Steve Young and that team. That was a great last Super Bowl, but we need to update the roster here. We need a new
Update the resume.
Super Bowl reel to run. So Let's go Niners. Thanks, Faithful Gear, and thanks for everyone in the chat. Let's do it again next week.
Yes. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Faithful Gear. Thank you. See you next week. Go Niners.
Niners.
And of course, for the upstart 49ers, they're 6 yards away from Pontiac. 3rd and 3.
We'll see a pickup jump down on the right side, possibly.
Montana looking.